Red and blue lights flashed in the mirror. Darren's heart dropped. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't swerving. He was just driving home from his late shift at the hospital in his silver Honda Civic. Still, the siren wailed behind him. "Pull over to the side of the road," the police speaker barked. Darren exhaled, already knowing what this was about. He'd seen that look too many times before, the "I'm stopping you because I can" look. The officer, tall, white, mid-40s, walked up to the car, flashlight shining straight into Darren's face. "Evening, sir," the officer said, voice sharp. "You know why I stopped you?" Darren shook his head. "No, officer. I wasn't speeding." The man smirked. "License and registration." As Darren reached for his wallet, the officer's tone changed. "Hands where I can see them," he barked. Startled, Darren froze. "I'm just getting my license." "I said hands up," the officer shouted, pulling his hand toward his holster. Cars slowed as they passed by, their headlights washing over the tense scene. Darren raised his hands, trembling slightly. He wasn't just scared, he was humiliated. The officer's radio crackled, and another patrol car arrived. Two more officers stepped out, watching like they were waiting for something to happen. Darren tried to stay calm. "Officer, please, I didn't do anything wrong." The officer leaned in close. "We'll see about that." He yanked the door open. "Step out of the vehicle." Darren stepped out slowly. It was cold, and his hospital ID badge swung from his chest. He looked like what he was, a hardworking Canadian nurse heading home after a 14-hour shift. The officer didn't care. "Turn around." Hands on the car. Darren felt the cuffs click around his wrists. Tight. Too tight. "For what?" "What did I do?" he asked. The officer smirked. "Suspicious driving. We'll sort it out downtown." From the corner of his eye, Darren noticed something, a small red light blinking inside his windshield. His dashcam. He had installed it months ago after seeing a friend falsely accused of running a red light. Now, it was recording every second. But the officer didn't know that. He sat Darren in the back of the patrol car and searched his vehicle. He opened the trunk, the glove compartment, even his lunch bag. After 10 minutes, he came back, empty-handed but still smug. "Looks like you're clean," the officer said mockingly. "Guess you got lucky tonight." Darren stared at him through the glass, eyes burning with quiet anger. "Not lucky," he whispered. "Recorded." The officer frowned. "What?" Darren met his eyes in the rearview mirror. "My dashcam's been on since the moment you stopped me." The officer froze. His smirk vanished. For the first time, he looked uncertain. And that's when the second patrol car's rookie officer leaned in through the window and asked softly, "Sir, do you really want to go through with this?" The senior cop's jaw tightened. He said nothing. But Darren could tell, this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Because that little red blinking light was about to change everything. The next morning, Darren sat in his small apartment, his coffee untouched. He hadn't slept. All night, he replayed the flashing lights, the yelling, the cold click of the handcuffs. But more importantly, he replayed the footage. On his laptop screen, the dashcam clearly showed everything. The stop. The shouting. The way the officer had pulled him over for suspicious driving when Darren had done absolutely nothing wrong. And at the end, that moment when the officer realized the camera was rolling, the fear in his eyes. It was all there. Crystal clear. Undeniable. Darren uploaded the footage privately to his cloud drive. Then he sent it to one person who would definitely watch it, his cousin Mia, a criminal defense lawyer known for taking on civil rights cases. Within minutes, Mia called. Her voice was calm but sharp. "Darren, this video could change everything." She told him to come to her office. By afternoon, she had already contacted the local police oversight agency, a journalist from CBC News, and a friend in the Canadian Human Rights Commission. When the footage hit the newsroom, it exploded across the internet. Headlines read: "Rolled up newspaper, nurse pulled over without cause, dashcam video tells a different story." Rolled up newspaper, racial profiling in broad daylight? Investigation underway in Ontario. The officer, identified as Sergeant Blake, denied everything. He claimed Darren had been driving erratically and reached suddenly under his seat. But the dashcam footage proved otherwise. Every word. Every action. Every second. It didn't take long for public outrage to erupt. The department received thousands of calls. Even the chief of police had to make a statement and have suspended the officer pending a full investigation. For the first time in weeks, Darren smiled. Not out of revenge, but relief. The story caught national attention. TV stations wanted interviews. Community leaders called him a hero for staying calm and trusting the truth. But the most powerful moment came a week later. Darren returned to the same stretch of road. This time, not as a victim, but as a symbol. News crews followed as he stood beside his car, dashcam light blinking softly. He spoke calmly into the camera. "If you're watching this, never let fear silence you. Truth doesn't need a badge to speak. It just needs proof." A few days later, the investigation concluded. Sergeant Blake was terminated and faced charges of misconduct and abuse of authority. But there was one final twist. Mia called Darren again with a grin. "You'll never guess who just reached out." It was the hospital director, offering Darren a promotion for his composure and professionalism, citing how he represented integrity under pressure. The man who was once handcuffed for nothing now stood free, respected, and admired nationwide. And as the video crossed 5 million views online, one comment stood out among thousands. "Speech balloon, that little red light saved his life, and maybe changed Canada forever."